You know, it only dawned on me recently that it's been 14 years with the release of Resident Evil 0 since Capcom released a true Resident Evil survival horror title that made us all wet our pants like frightened little puppies. And while the Revelations games brought some of this aspect back, there was just something missing that made us feel completely vulnerable and alone. Resident Evil 4 became the staple of what could be achieved by combining a revolutionary over-the-shoulder perspective while still maintaining that level of, help me, I think I'm going to die, all the while providing an exceptional action experience. Then Resident Evil 5 came along and offered more of the same thing, only with a little more action and a little less horror. Then 6 came out and, well, we all know what happened there. Enter Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, a game that, when announced, promised to go back to what made the series so successful in the first place, when having limited ammo didn't mean having a spare 50 rounds in your inventory, and when fighting off unspeakable nightmarish horrors meant having a spare box of toilet tissue on standby. Resident Evil 7 hasn't even been released yet, but the marketing for the game has been nothing short of successful. Everything from the E3 and TGS 2016 trailers to the gradual updates of the teaser demo, which, by itself, has given me more calls to buy a fresh batch of underwear than the last few titles in the series combined. With that, here are 5 things Resident Evil 7 does that reignites the series.
Welcome to the family, son.
You thought you'd just slip out before dinner was done?
Those of you with more than half a brain will know that when you think of Resident Evil, you think survival horror. Lately though, due to the amount of zombies killed, ganados dispatched, quick time events and explosions, you'll be linking said series to director Michael Bay, who's about a survival horror as a bottle of fucking water. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is the game to bring it all back. Those who have played the latest demo updates, like myself, as well as the lucky few who have managed to get their hands on 4 hours plus of gameplay, can attest to the game's scary and immersive atmosphere.
Oh, what? What the fuck? Oh my goodness. Oh my good Christ almighty.
The sounds of creaking floors, not knowing what's around the corner, the lighting, the graphical fidelity. This is one game that warrants the purchase of a decent headset. We're also promised to have access to very limited ammo in the game, saving it for encounters with a stronger enemy, so running away and hiding will in many cases be the best course of action.
That gun is not going to work the way you think it will.
Saving your game manually also makes its return as opposed to relying on frequent checkpoints. Checkpoints will still be available, but they'll be very few and far between and will mark a pivotal moment in the game, such as a cutscene or boss fight. We also have the welcome return of the electrocardiogram health system, which will be displayed on Ethan's wrist. This is important because you won't have a heads-up display to view your status, thereby keeping you in the game to fix yourself up in real time. I think it's safe to say that Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is shaping up to be more Resident Evil than its recent predecessors. Better late than never, Capcom.
It's good.
Dumb some bitch wasn't no good if it hit him.
Lucas!
Damn, old man, not again.
Resident Evil 7 reintroduces the first-person perspective to the series, only this time applied far more effectively due to a well-rounded control scheme and the creepy atmosphere you'll be engulfed in. This will give you a first-hand account of the horror around you, putting you directly into the character's shoes. If there's anything more terrifying than wondering what's behind the door via a fixed camera angle like in earlier titles, or even with an over-the-shoulder perspective, it's opening said door to find a pack of molded coming right for you. All in first-person perspective. Yeah, spare underpants on standby, please. This also goes for any reoccurring enemies to the series. Producer Masachika Kawata stated that there'll be Resident Evil-esque enemies making a return in 7. Now many, including myself, have speculated that these will be zombies, but I ran an online poll recently asking my subscribers what they'd like to see make a return. I personally voted for lickers, as they struck a real chord with me. Now whether or not lickers, hunters, or any other of these horrific monsters return doesn't matter. It's the fresh take on said creatures that really spices things up. And that's what makes the first person mechanic so appealing. Who wouldn't want to go around a corner and experience firsthand a licker on the ceiling, all with Resident Evil 7's delicious graphics and sound design? Think about it. Resident Evil 7 separates itself from previous titles drastically, and one of the prime examples of this is the main character you play, Ethan Winters. He's just an ordinary guy with no experience with any of the events in Resident Evil's elaborate history. This method of introducing a new and ordinary character goes hand in hand with the player who's controlling him. Capcom have done a fantastic job on throwing the more knowledgeable fans of the series, for example, into a world we're still pretty clueless about. Everyone knows what to do if a zombie shovels towards them, but introducing new enemies, territories and characters puts all of us off guard and on edge.
What's the story, Andre?
Abandoned farmhouse, missing family, foul play suspected. The usual.
Speaking of characters, everyone seems to be an actual living person in 7, rather than a stereotypical good-looking protagonist or a mindless and idiotic bad guy who loves nothing more than the sound of his own voice. Let's take a look at Peter and Andre, the characters from the Resident Evil 7 teaser demo. They're not exactly what you would call typical Brad Pitt heartthrobs, although I'm a little bit in love with Peter. The guy's an asshole, but he's a funny one at that.
Fuck me. I was an anchor, you know?
Weekend sub, Pete. Not anchor.
What's that?
Nothing.
My fingers hurt.
What's that?
My fingers hurt.
Oh, well, now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty.
The point is, these guys are just a couple of regular chaps with interesting dialogue. No mention of, something's wrong here, we have to get to the bottom of this, but rather a more realistic reaction to the events occurring.
All right, new deal. We find Andre and we go. I mean, fuck this show.
Furthermore, look at the Baker family meal trailer where we see some great character interaction. Jack and Marguerite totally steal the show here, with great dialogue coming from both of them. Everything from Marguerite's sudden outburst to Jack's subtle willingness to feed Ethan some of Marguerite's famous homemade cadavers. There just seems to be more potential for character development in Resident Evil 7 than there ever has been in the history of the series.
Oh shit, he's not eating it, Jack! He's not eating it!
Shut the hell up,
I
Marguerite!
made that for him!
Get the hell out of here!
You're a son of a bitch! Oh, I can't believe it, you son of a bitch! He's not eating it! He's not eating it! It wouldn't be a Resident Evil game without some of the series' recognisable puzzles, and these are back in Resident Evil 7. Where's the fun in simply finding a door and being able to open it straight away? Where do I find the fucking sword key? How many doors use this particular format? These questions will be raised once again, I'm happy to say, as those who got to experience some time with the game in Japan confirmed the need to find particular keys hidden around the environment. There's a particular door that's briefly shown and talked about in one of the recent gameplay footage uploads from IGN and Eurogamer, which shows an indentation of 3 dog heads. The door is in plain sight pretty much from the moment you begin to explore the mansion, but in true Resident Evil fashion won't open until all 3 of the scattered parts are found. There's also going to be some new and interesting puzzles thrown into the mix to keep things spicy and flavoursome. One requires you to hold up an item against a light so that its shadow forms on the wall and rotate so that it matches the image displayed. A lot of these puzzles will need to be completed while the Bakers are around, bringing another element of tension and thrills. How scary would it be, putting the finishing touches to a particular puzzle and hearing footsteps draw nearer and nearer to the room you're currently in? Make that 2 packs of underwear needed. I told you to stay out of here!
For 3 years, Ethan Winters believed his wife was dead, until he received a message from beyond the grave. But he's about to face the disturbing reality.
It's Mia. She's not dead, she's alive. She's back.
One of Resident Evil 7's biggest assets is its mysterious story. The series has provided a story so engaging that it's kept its fans craving more. YouTubers like myself can theorize all day long, but to quote Mia, there's still so much we need to know. Who are the Bakers? What's Mia's involvement? Who's the scary little girl? What virus or infection has made the families so demented that they want to use our intestines as skipping ropes? And who the fuck is calling us from multiple telephones scattered around the environment? The beginning hour demo and its updates have provided a great backstory to keep us all guessing, and this will only flesh itself out more as we play through the main game. Capcom have done exceedingly well in releasing multiple trailers and gameplay while at the same time keeping Resident Evil 7's story shrouded in mystery, and for that, they deserve high praise. We do know one thing in absolute certainty: everything wants to kill us, and it's up to us to survive the horror of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I, for one, am counting down the days until this game releases on January 24th, 2017, and you can bet your ass I'll be taking a week off work so I can draw the curtains, whack on the headset, and begin to relive my first few years on Earth by pissing myself and screaming for my mum. Let me know down in the comments how excited you are for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and tell me what you're looking forward to most of all. Please give this video a big fat juicy thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and share it to your friends, family and loved ones. Thank you very much for watching, guys. My name's Danny, and I'm the 420p guy.